Good morning, my friends. Good morning on a Monday morning. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend. Hopefully you called somebody, connected with somebody, and we are approaching week 2 of our time that we're going to be connecting with each other via video. Now, today I promised you that we're going to actually start our picture that we're going to put these Zentangles in. So the 3 things that you need to find, and they don't have to be like styrofoam, is I want you to go get a plate out of your cabinet, like a smaller plate, and a glass or a cup, something that can make 3 different size circles. All right, that's what you need, plus a piece of paper and a pencil. We're going to use your pens too, but we're going to start off with the pencil because we're going to draw some lines that will be erased. Okay, so pencil, paper, plate, saucer, cup. All right, go get that, and we're going to move the camera. Okay, so we're going to start off and we're going to draw very, very lightly. I want you to put your plate in the middle of the paper, kind of hold it down, put your pencil straight up, and just make a circle. We're going to make kind of a flower mandala. Then I want you to take your second plate, put it right in the middle, kind of move it around so you think it's kind of in the middle. Again, put your finger around it and lightly just draw around that plate. Then do the same thing with your cup. And if you have a cup that has a smaller bottom, you can turn it over and draw it again. So you just have some circles in the middle. These will be kind of guidelines to our mandala. All right, now, oh, and if you have something like that, that won't hurt either, because that's what we're using with pencils. All right, so you're going to kind of put you a middle dot. Then I want you to do some sweeping lines that you're going to aim toward connecting in that dot. So you're going to just take your hand and kind of sweep 1, and then 2, and 3 all the way through. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. All right. If you have more than that, you know, if you end up getting an extra line, it won't hurt anything, but we'll start off with this. We're going to start off by taking this middle part and we're going to just make a little wiggly line around it. That's going to be the center of our mandala. And it doesn't have to be straight. It's just going to kind of make a middle part. Then where these lines are, we're going to go out to this outside line and we're going to make a petal. So we're going to start here and we're going to go out and come back like this. And you're going to do that on each of the lines. And as you see that it doesn't have to be a straight line. Actually, most petals are not going to be real straight. And then you have 6 petals. Now, once you got those 6 petals done, we're going to add some more petals, but we're going to add them in between. And they may not go out quite as far, but you're going to, like, instead of starting them down here to the center, you're going to bring them about midway to those leaves, and you're just going to kind of go out and back in. So that it looks like those petals are behind the other ones. All right, now we have a flower. All right, and we can begin to be able to add our patterns inside of this. The first one that we're going to do today is called mumsy. Kind of goes along with being a flower. And some of you can see it's probably a little shiny, but you can see a little bit of it. So we're going to now switch from the pencil to our micron pen. All right, so we're going to start out in our center, right at our dot, and we're going to make a little wiggly line around that dot. Okay, and then inside that, we're going to make another little wiggly line inside that. Okay, so once we get that, we're going to then make some loops all the way around. Once we got those loops, you're going to do the same thing kind of you did before. You're going to make little loops inside those to make them look like they're going behind. Now we're not done with them yet. Inside each one of these loops, because this is like the center of your petal, we're going to make a lot of little ones. We're going to make 2 loops inside. We're going to go make little tiny ones. So if you have different size pins, you can switch to a little pin at this point. Okay, and that'll be the center of our flower. Now we're ready to go ahead and outline our flower with our pen, and then we'll be able to do some erasing. So even though this drawing that you did around there is just a little bit bigger, you can go, if you want to, you can go out a little bit further, or you can just now start with this line and go right to the edge of that. We didn't know where that was going to be, and go right out and outline your petals. You can even take from here and draw a couple of lines like this, just to indicate that it's a petal. And you don't have to go exactly right over your pencil line. That was just to give us a guide to start out with. All right, now before we do our erasing, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to, I missed a petal right here. We're going to outline that central line. We're going to take our pen and we're going to go right along that line and stop wherever the petals are. And I'm going to actually make 2 lines because I'm going to make a border right there. So I'm going to go like this and make a border. And you can turn your paper however make it feels better as far as to draw with your hands. Okay, now you can take your pencil and you can erase some of these extra lines that you don't need. We're going to leave the central lines because that's going to help us divide those leaves into different kinds of patterns. But you can see if you draw lightly, you won't even see most of these lines on the outside. So you had lots of different patterns to choose from last week. And so what you get to do now is you get to take your pen and you get to be able to play with some of those patterns. So like if you decide, hey, I want to just, in the ones behind, I'm going to do a little bit of rain. Do you remember that pattern? And we might start here and we might go dot, 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 wiggle, 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 dot, 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 wiggle, 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 dot. And then you have your little wiggly line and your dot. And it might be just, you might be designing the petal that's behind with that little pattern that we learned. Now, because it is a mandala, we're going to do the same thing all the way around. So if we do it on this petal, then we're going to do that same pattern on this one that's going behind here, 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 and here. All right, on another petal, maybe you're going to take this section right here, this in between the 2 lines, and you're going to do the scroll. So you might say, all right, I'm going to do the scroll between these two lines. So I'm going to put my dots and we're going to make that grid fit the space that we have. So then we're going to take and make our little fish hooks. And we're going to turn our paper and we're going to do the fish hooks this direction. And so in that section, you can have the little scrolls. And you can make the lines go clear off the paper. Now, that pattern would go right on the top leaf here, 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 here. It's been so good to be able to talk with you a little bit today, the beginning of our week. Please remember to call somebody if you have a chance, connect with somebody. We'll get back here tomorrow and we'll add some more patterns to our mandala flower. And in the meantime, don't forget to wash your hands. Bye-bye.